We're just can I try that again? Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Great to be here.
How's it going, Rob?
It's going great, man. How are you guys doing?
Great to be on the show with the awesome name.
My agenda, what I think everyone needs to know on other people, it didn't really work that way.
Hi guys, it's your boy Johnny. Oh, it's so nice to be on Canary Cry Radio.
People will sometimes say to us, you guys are taking this stuff way too lightly because you guys are laughing all the time.
That's what started it, and we opened wide to saying, Lord, we'll help any of these, we'll go whatever.
Well, is that the way the Antichrist is going to arise? I don't know, but I know that the book of Revelation tells us in Revelation 17 that the world is going to marvel at he who was and is not and yet is. There's a lot of minds that are being made up that say, hey, E.T. is God. The God of the Bible is just ridiculous.
You're listening to Canary Cry Radio. Here's Basil and Gonz.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
There we go.
We're on.
Okay, welcome to Canary Cry Radio.
I think
My name's Basil.
And this is Gonz.
Okay.
We're, we took the advice of some people, and we're trying out OBS, which is the Open Broadcast something or other. What is it called, Basil?
I don't know. Some sort of fancy open source streaming
Open
thing.
source broadcast, that's what it is.
Ah.
Okay. So, here we are. We did it.
All right. Here we are. We're currently sending the link out to all of our people. And so people should be showing up soon here.
Trying to get our...
Man, we really, are still trying to get our stuff together when it comes to this thing.
We're still trying to figure out how to get the link out to people. This is like the hardest part for us. For whatever reason, we have no idea how to get the link of the live stream,
yeah, I think I just sent it. So I think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay.
I'm just going to post it here. Go here or else.
Can you guys hear the music in the background? We need interaction. We need people to tell us what's going on. Because again, we're for the first couple minutes here, we're going to be testing the whole new OBS open source live stream software.
Yeah.
I literally opened it up today, and I was like, I'm going to figure this thing out. And I think I figured it out, but we will have to find out if it's actually working or not.
Yeah, we got music is fine. There we go. I hear the music.
Nice.
The link on Facebook. Yeah, right. People are getting here.
It's working.
All right. Whoop. Oh, yeah. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So here we are on the Canary Cry live stream. Thanks for everybody showing up. That's great. Thanks for dealing with our technical difficulties. We are, I think this is our fourth one, right?
Fourth or I think fourth.
Some fourth or fifth. One of these days, it's not gonna be so sketchy. We're gonna get our act together.
Yeah, it's already not sketchy with Basil wearing creepy mask.
Yeah.
So, our live stream health is not doing well.
I see that.
I'm wondering why.
Are you guys having problems with the live stream health? Because we're getting warnings.
Oh, I think I know why. We might lose a little bit of timing, but I'm turning down our sync offset.
Okay.
So that...
Fancy words.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll try to get Monty here so he can say hi to everybody. He's wandering around here somewhere. Where'd you go? Hey, come up, say hi. He's busy playing with some sticks I have back there in the corner. Natalina says we're doing just fine.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Maybe we are doing fine. All right.
Okay, perfect.
It's just going to be us going, all right, sweet.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So,
okay.
earlier today, Basil was a guest on my YouTube channel, which I was totally stoked about. And, I knew this was going to happen. Like, we talked about the whole levitating cars thing in China, and we just, shared some of our thoughts on, the whole spiel. And, man, the responses, I would say, I would say 80% of the responses were great. People just saying, "Hey, it's Basil on the Face Like the Sun channel," and everyone was stoked. But there were a couple people that were not so stoked about Basil.
Which is to be expected, I think. I get that in real life too. So
you get that in real life, and yeah. And
well, it's interesting. There's a couple of different things. Some people were stoked. Some people seemed like they commented before they even watched the video, and then other people, specifically one, seemed to have a beef, a long-standing beef with me.
Yeah, and there's some. Do you want to read the comment, or do you want to?
Yeah, let me read it.
Okay, so I can actually pull it up here.
I also posted it on Facebook, just because it was hilarious.
Right.
So you can go there and read it and comment on it.
Let me test this real quick. This feature here. I'm gonna press click a button, and it's going to show you my screen basically. And so here we go. Boom. There's my screen, and
so here we go. Ready?
This is the comment.
Williams T Dog 9, or William Saint Dog 9, or William Street Dog 9. Something like that.
One of those.
Basil ruins every interview. I have no idea why Gonz teams up with such an immature, rude narcissist for his awesome show.
My awesome show. He's right about that. My awesome show.
This is all your show. Basil's stupid sarcasm, condescending tone sounds like he thinks so highly of himself, and you can tell by the way he obviously loves hearing himself talk. I do love myself. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of self-love. And why does he have to hide his face when he has chosen to be a well-known public figure in media?
We're well-known?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole thing is riddled with compliments. It's kind of nice.
Unintended consequences.
Yeah, I've chosen to be a well-known public figure in media. The stupid questions he asks at the conference were as lowbrow as his off-color humor. Now, he's talking about a conference
a year ago.
Was this the Ohio?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the Ohio conference. Okay, we'll keep going. Lowbrow is his off-color humor. Off-color, that might be a little strong. I don't know if
I don't think off-color.
And the way he treated Kent Hovind on that interview made me unsubscribe to their site and channel. Was pathetic. That's a particulate sentence, or whatever it's called. Was pathetic is the whole sentence. The sarcastic and stupid jokes that he made to a godly man who just spent the last 8 years of his life in jail for nothing made me want to punch him in the face. A grade 5 student would have asked more intelligent questions and would have had more respect and compassion. Now, what he's referring to is when I think is what he's referring to is when I asked Kent Hovind if he got any prison tattoos and or had to join a gang.
It was a joke, and it was, we're trying to keep things light. The man just came out of jail. I mean,
but who knows?
You can't joke about it.
I've never been to jail. I don't know what it's like in there.
Neither do I, but I mean, he seemed like he was lighthearted. He was open. He laughed at the joke. It wasn't like he hung up on us.
Yeah, and I think one thing is that that wasn't in the interview and wasn't recorded was the fact that we had been talking for like 45 minutes to an hour beforehand.
Right.
And we're like close to each other and friends. Anyways, so more respect and compassion, maybe. But those sunglasses he was wearing inside at the conference were super stylish, though. Thank you, William Street Dog 9. Went well with his expensive dress shoes and high fashion wardrobe. See, you know you're good at thrift stores when people think you have expensive dress shoes and high fashion wardrobe.
That is a really good point. That's a really good point because you shop at the thrift stores, so you
100%.
You do a good job.
Thrift stores. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You and Williams Saint Dog are both fans of my thrift storing. Thinks he's Johnny Depp or something. Okay. Awesome ponytail too. Now here's something. I take offense. That was not a ponytail, Williams T-Dog 9. That was a man bun.
A man bun. And
the sooner you realize the difference, the sooner you're going to be able to get along in this life a lot better. This is 2015, bro. But that's what he really cares about, the way he looks. Yep. That's why I wear this mask. Because I care so much about the way I look.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go. That was a fun thing. And Gonz, like we mentioned before, that was like my first introduction into, crazy hate from Christians.
Yeah.
For no reason.
You've had a smattering of it, but that was
like the
next
one.
level.
Yeah, it was good. Next level. That's
definitely
exactly what it was.
Yeah, you're in a whole new tier now of hate. It's a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
I knew the
Natalina's yes, Natalina, sentence fragment. That's what it was called.
Yes. Yeah, no Wirecast lady tonight, by the way. Sorry to disappoint you all. I think Basil froze. Oh, sorry, you froze, Basil.
Oh.
I was telling everybody that there's no Wirecast lady.
Oh yeah, Wirecast.
So I was apologizing to people for that. Hey, we went offline just now.
Oh, we are offline right now.
Oh wait, we're back online.
Are we back on?
Are we back?
Uh-oh.
Having connection issues.
Yeah, is that your internet or what is that? Do you
Bad
think?
video setting.
Huh? I don't know what that means.
Here, let me try something over here. I'm gonna go. Keep talking, Basil.
Okay. So yeah, there you go.
Let me give him something to look at here.
Okay.
That's not here. That's what we see. We see the bad video thing.
Yeah.
So hang on one second.
Ooh, now everybody can see how the sausage is made.
Maybe I'll click on something else for them to look at.
Here's a question. Gonzo, is Justin Fall gonna be on Canary Cry with ya or anything? He mentioned something about you and Basil the other day.
Yeah, we actually, I think we're gonna be on his show soon because it happened already, right, Basil?
Yes. Was that the one that we did?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, dude. You gotta know the people.
Sorry,
yeah,
just do
Justin.
so many shows. I'm such a prominent, well-known figure in the media.
You don't care about others. You just care about the way you look.
I just care about my high fashion.
Okay, I'm gonna do something real quick that may disrupt the entire thing, and it's mostly gonna be in my sort of video.
Your thing.
Situation.
All right. Yeah, sorry everybody. We're still trying to we're not trying to figure it out, but we're having video connection problems. Justin is a cool dude. We did a show with Justin. I'm sure it'll come out one of these days. And we had a lot of fun. He's a silly guy too. I wonder if he gets all the silly mean comments from people.
I saw Justin was just on with Josh Peck. Of course, Josh Peck is everybody. I don't know how he does it. Like he even got the lady that does the whole monster drink thing, the whole thing. He got her. And it was like, how did he get her?
He probably emailed her. If we tried, we might.
That's a lot of research to figure out exactly who she is and like.
That's a good point. That does take a lot of research.
That's not an easy task. Anyway, I watched the thing with Justin, and Justin's like in front of. I think it was a U87, which is like a very expensive microphone. Okay, he's in front of like a $2,000 microphone, and he's green screened. right? And he's got like stuff happening behind him when the green
Right.
screen.
Cool stuff.
He's got some gear, man. He's
Yeah,
got some nice stuff.
he's
We
got
need
his
to
act
we
together.
need to we need to be friends with him more so we can figure out what's going on over here because our lo-fi.
Yeah. Well, this actually isn't even my house. This is a green screen. I just green screened in this painting and this telescope. So,
Well, you
and
did a very good job of keyframing because it looks very natural.
yeah, thank you. I'm a professional.
Yeah.
Is your closet not green screened? You're like actually in a closet?
Moving on, we're going to talk about some things. Yes, I'm in a closet. We know this.
That's okay.
It's not a metaphorical closet either. It's a literal one for all you people wondering.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. All right. And so, yeah, I mean, just I guess to wrap up that video that I did on your channel with you, we talked about the levitating cars in China. And, you know, it seems to be that the explanation is a cable that got wrapped up. And, but, you know, it's still kind of weird. I kind of tried to keep an open mind still. And maybe the powers that be are hiding the secret gravitational bullet thing that they shot at those cars is secret. But yeah, probably just the cable thing.
Yeah.
Why
Still
they-
weird though, man.
It is
Oh,
weird.
by the way, a lot of people were saying like, what's the deal with this? Let me show you,
The
guys.
person
Yeah, the
running
person,
that.
but also they talk about. Hold on, I'm gonna show it here real quick and boom, right here. If you watch this area, you'll see one of the wheels pop off,
Yeah.
and then it's like either back on or something. I don't think that's a wheel popping off.
I don't think it's a wheel either.
It's well, I think it is a wheel. I think it's the spare wheel that's being popped off.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it kind of looks like it drops from underneath.
It drops and then it kind of rolls.
Yeah.
You could see it roll behind it. So I think that's
You know-
what's going on because people were like, well, the wheel fell off and then it went right back onto the car. And it's like, because usually a lot of times those spare wheels are under the car, right?
Yeah, right. And if there's a cable under there, it
It's
definitely
gonna rip
will
it
sever
off.
it off.
Yeah.
You know, what I thought was actually the strangest thing about the video was after it happens, the people waiting to cross the street are just like, oh, I guess it's time.
I know, I noticed
They
that.
just like walk across and like don't stop to help anybody. Like nobody's rushing to the car to like save the people who just got thrashed around.
Yeah, it is
You know.
definitely a strange piece of footage. And some other people mentioned in the comment section that CCTV, which is the Chinese, whatever TV, had used, that teleportation video or whatever to promote a movie or something. So they're known for stunts as well. So,
Stunts. Stunts.
Can't trust them.
Looks like there's still some buffering issues, but I don't know. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that.
Yeah.
John Randall's got a good connection. All right. So, we got there's a lot of people wanting us to talk about the flat earth, or maybe it's just reality 358. I don't know if we're necessarily the most qualified people to talk about it.
Up to speed.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously talked about it before.
What's more important to talk about, Basil? Obviously.
I don't know. We can talk about more mean comments that I've gotten.
What about mean comments for not talking about flat Earth? Because I've gotten plenty of that.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll come.
And
soon.
we just.
Is there somebody online that we can like bring on for some flat Earth chat?
Oh gosh, are we really
know.
going to do that? I only say that because yes, Rob Skiba, we know. DCL creative asking, yeah, why did you have to mess up Rob Skiba so much? Which is kind of funny because
funny you
this is
mention that.
just a little tidbit of the 100th episode. One of the things that we're doing for the 100th episode, and I'm going to spill the beans here, but not everyone that's here, listens to the podcast, or not everyone that listens to the podcast is here. But we're trying to do something pretty crazy for the 100th episode and get a bunch of our past guests on. For a little cameo appearance. So, multiple guests on episode 100. And one of the guests was Rob Skiba. And one of the first things he told us when he got online with us was, you guys screwed me up, man. You guys are the worst, man. You guys totally screwed me. So he totally
Apparently-
blames us for Rob's,
Yeah.
flat Earth rabbit trail.
Apparently, Rob Skiba first heard about the flat Earth on Canary Cry Radio, and he tells that story on the 100th episode, and it's pretty entertaining. So make sure to tune in for that. So yeah, we got that. we got that point for us.
Let's see. Well, I mean, do you want to comment on the flat Earth thing?
I don't know if I have anything to say that would be more than any other YouTube video that anybody else has made. I would say after talking to Rob for our 100th episode, he actually gave some evidence or some points, I guess I'd say, that I hadn't heard before or that were still intriguing. So, it's for me, it's still up in the air. I'm one of those people that I'm not going to put down the flat Earth thing. There's some really intriguing information out there. My conditioning has got me still pretty strongly in the globe category, but there is no denying some of the very fascinating information coming out about the flat Earth.
Yep.
Yeah. You about the same?
Yeah. I mean, here's the deal. The thing that I think is the most dangerous thing about the flat Earth, and I'm just going to mention this and then move on, and this might bother some of you guys even in the chat right now, but this idea that because the Bible describes, let me be very specific about that word, describes a flat Earth, therefore the reality is that we live in a flat Earth. It doesn't teach a flat Earth, right? It describes something that's like a flat Earth. And you have to extract quite a bit from the passages to sort of create that view. And I think there is something to be said about the biblical writers of that time believing in a world that is more or less flat or enclosed in some way. And sure, that might have been their worldview, but is that a contingent fact for the moving forward of God's plan, his gospel, everything else? And my kind of argument is that no, it's not. You know what I mean? Like, if, let's say, the Bible describes in the Hebrew ancient Israelite worldview a flat-ish Earth, why would God change that? In a sense. So I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much, but that's kind of where I'm at with it, because even if the Bible describes a flat Earth in the Old Testament, given that worldview, given the context of that worldview of the ancient Israelites, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's reflecting all reality, in the sense that God doesn't have to change or give extra revelation about the shape of the earth. It wasn't important for him to correct that. Plus, it's not necessarily straightforward that it's that the language is literal, and
Sure.
and the problem when I hear people say, we have to take the Bible literally, and we say that, people say that a lot, then you got to take passages that, where God says, like, he brings his hand down and stuff like that. You got to take that literally too, which means there's a giant hand that comes out of the sky and comes down and does stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I just think you have to be careful with some of the nuances of what's being said. And, again, I can go on and on about that. And I know there's lots of details of testing it in the real world out there, and I appreciate the people doing that. And I'm not dismissing it, because, hey, who the heck knows? I'm not saying that I know that it's a sphere or a flat or whatever.
I think it's a fascinating idea. And like I said, some of the I don't know, evidence or ideas that are coming out for it are really fascinating, and I'd like to try them out myself. Just haven't really gotten the time for it.
Are we coming in one ear and like one ear from? I'm sorry, I'm listening.
That's what somebody said, and it's supposedly kind of cool. It's like we're each on one side of their face talking to them.
I don't know if that's a good thing. I might be slowing down the feed.
Fix it, bro. I don't know.
I'm trying, dude. I got buttons to press over here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna down mix
But
tomorrow.
anyways, I think a big thing for me with the flat Earth is, the much bigger sort of conspiracy is you have to accept that NASA is purposefully lying.
Which I think they are lying about a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing.
But
And for a lot of people that's not a big jump, and for other people it may be a big jump. But there's a lot of funky stuff going on with NASA. I mean, ever since the moon landing, obviously, NASA has been, in question. And now with all the NASA scientists getting murdered or disappearing or dying of like strange diseases that shouldn't exist, then whatever.
Well,
Natalina says about the flat Earth. Oh, that's a fast scroll.
Yeah, the scroll thing is ridiculous. So you got to really be on top of it.
Natalina says the flat Earth is a huge distraction. It had caused division, and it ultimately doesn't matter. Test the fruit of the flat Earth debate. Is there anything edifying about it? No. Soul Surfer says Natalina is right, but Angelique Lewis says I have to disagree somewhat with Natalia. Is she talking about Natalina?
I think she's
so.
talking about Natalina.
Based on Rob's own email testimonies of people being led to Christ because of the flat Earth theory. That's interesting.
Yeah, and what I think is people have to be careful with that though is, if the flat Earth is a sort of a gateway to the gospel, okay, sure, God could use whatever to bring people to the truth, but if it is a contingent part of their salvation or what they believe is their salvation, then we got to be careful with that because, the same way if someone says, I became a believer because of the pre-wrath or the pre-trib view of the rapture. Okay, that might have been the thing, but what if there's ample evidence to suggest that is wrong or something? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Or creation or any biblical topic. If that is the thing that is, the central part of your salvation or salvific belief, then it's shaky. It's
and
not
I don't
centered
think it
on
is.
Christ,
Is the thing. I don't think anybody's saying that the flat Earth debate is gonna change anybody's salvation. However, people are making good points, which is the flat Earth evidence, and I just use that word because I don't know a better word. That may be the right word. Is leading people to at least open their mind a little bit to the possibilities that the world, the reality is, different than what we've been told. And I think that could be a good idea, I guess.
We'll see, reality.
Once you start questioning reality, then you can start questioning the banking system and the status of America as a corporation and not an actual nation. Stuff like that.
Well, look at this. Reality 358 said that first off, he was saying earlier that he got kicked out of his own show or something, and then he says, "You guys don't get it. You get flat Earth. You get everything."
Huh.
So I just, for me, that's kind of like, that's shaky. Like,
yeah,
you kind of know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's wrong or he's, not saved or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But, to say that you have a corner on truth because of the flat Earth, that's where I think, we have to stay a little bit looser on it because, we just don't know. Like, there's evidence and you can go to that conclusion. That's fine. I think it's important for us to have these discussions in terms of sharing the evidence and sharing our beliefs. And if we can't do that, then we're, living in some sort of crazy dictatorship, So it's good that we can share those things. But, based on my observation of stuff, it's not, the passion that people have about that, about the flat Earth, if they had the same passion, and I know this is kind of a crude example, but if they had the same passion for just the gospel itself, it could be.
Maybe. I mean, you could say that about a lot of stuff.
Well, that's
a lot
what I'm
of people
saying,
say that about us too. But we haven't quite picked a hill to die on as far as anything but the gospel at this point. But and a lot of flat earthers, like we said, Rob Skiba, really took a strong stance and didn't
that's the thing
down.
that he hasn't. He has looked into it, but I don't think he's necessarily given a hard stance. He even told us that he's kind of an what's the word he used? Something agnostic. I can't remember the word. It's somewhere
flat
that
Earth.
It wasn't flat Earth. It was something. It was some investigative term that relates to it. Somebody in the chat room probably know what it is. But yeah, I mean, in terms of how it affects everything. And here's the other thing too. And this is a theory that I had that I think could be true. And you've brought this up too, Basil, that I thought was a good point a while ago. The whole idea of a flat plane. What if the flat plane is not like just the Earth itself necessarily, but a plane that planets and everything sits on? Because doesn't
Right.
like
Well, there are theories of the universe where the universe is sort of shaped like a flat plane, and gravity is uh, just the indents of that flat plane. Um, that is a theoretical model of the universe that has been used in theoretical ways. Gets kind of confusing once you have a 360 degree of movement in space. But again, if NASA's lying about that, what are we going to do about it?
right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like once you start questioning, and that's what I think is somewhat of a good thing about the whole topic is that it makes you question everything. And to a certain extent, that's good. But if you don't have certain foundations, then you can totally get lost in stuff. And I'm not saying that that's what happened to people, but I've seen that it's caused a lot of strife and
Yeah.
a lot of victim kind of people feeling like they're victimized because of their belief in the flat Earth.
Right. Well, it kind of comes down to the same thing that all these topics come down to, which is, it's not something to lose friends over.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. And we saw that early on the topic was even divided within kind of the whole, flat earth community. It was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I
it's
mean,
just there's walls at the end, or no, it's a flat, plane forever. There's actually another whole, section of the like what they call Atlantis or whatever. That was
right.
Math Boylan. He had a whole theory about that. So, I mean, I've looked
Yeah.
into it, so I'm not.
Well, and at the same time, what do you do with the flat Earth theory? What do you do with the hollow Earth theory? Which means, what do you do with Admiral Byrd's testimony?
Right.
And and again, I'm not holding that as gospel. I'm just saying that is something that we've explored in the past, and with such a compelling testimony from Admiral Byrd.
Right.
Again, it's a long time ago this happened.
Yeah, Natalina said Josh Peck has a compelling theory about multidimensionalism, how the Earth can be round and flat at the same time, depending upon which dimension you are observing it from. Natalina, I'm disappointed in you. He stole that from me. I actually thought of that first. Okay, doesn't matter.
No,
but
I thought of that first.
No, I
No,
did. I have it on
Monty
tape.
thought of that first.
I have it on tape. No,
Yeah.
but I discussed it with Josh, and I was kind of considering that possibility because, and because the whole idea of flatland, right, and how
Right.
in a flatland it's 2-dimensional, but then if a 3-dimensional object goes through it, it's it's a point, and then it gets to the whole thing. So I was considering like maybe if you go out into space, because we don't really know, right? Maybe what happens is that from the space dimension, if you want to call it that, it looks like a sphere, but when you come down, it's a flat plane. But I don't know.
Right.
It kind of breaks apart when you investigate certain things. That's why I didn't pursue it, and I let Josh kind of pursue it a little more. But interesting, discussion that we don't know squat about anything.
Yeah, I can't believe we're having this discussion. I'm pretty sure we decided not to talk about it, but here we are.
Yep.
Also, here's a cat.
See,
as long as
it's
we're
fake.
talking about the flat Earth, here's a kitty cat. Ow! Oh, he does. Ow! Oh my gosh! Ow! He does not. He does not like you guys very much. Sorry about that.
He does not like cameras. Apparently, he just doesn't want to be on screen.
Yeah, we we had we were trying on some sweaters earlier. Yeah, him and I.
Like matching ugly Christmas sweaters or something?
I don't know. I guess everybody's gonna have to tune in next time to one of the Christmas live streams to figure out how that went.
Oh boy. You mentioned another can of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody asked about the concave Earth. I've looked at it a little bit, but it's compelling. I kind of think there's something to the geocentric idea of, reality, if you want to call it that. But again, The biggest problem, here's the biggest problem for me. Because everyone says, oh, you can test things, we can scientifically test things. Use the scientific method, right?
Right.
To verify certain things about the flatness of the earth or whatever. The biggest problem for me is that the scientific method cannot be scientifically tested to see if it is scientifically accurate, if you know what I'm saying.
That's really
Does that make
deep,
any
man.
sense? Did that make any sense to you, Basil, or am I crazy?
It made sense.
Like the process itself cannot be tested to prove that it is 100% accurate in its methodology.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, it's a good methodology. It's obviously produced results in terms of, we got computers and stuff.
I was gonna say I have cell phones and I fly in airplanes.
Right, but a lot of those things are repeatable, testable, and to the degree of a tangible thing, rather than I've got a camera at 30,000 feet in the air or something.
Yeah. No, this is exactly why the flat Earth conversation is so hard to have, and it can only go so far, because until we have like a, I don't know, until I personally,
Omniscience.
yeah, until I personally fly up into space,
until
and look
God
back.
tells us or shows us,
right? Exactly.
And speaking of which, we were going to do kind of these random questions to each other just because we thought it would be fun. And I prepared a couple of them.
Okay.
And one of the questions I had was, there's some news out saying that they discovered the Apollo 16 rocket crash site located from the 1972 mission on the moon, which to me is like, what? Like, why did it take you so long to find it?
Right.
Like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But anyway, inspired by that whole thing with space, and you mentioned space, assuming there is a space, I know there's one guy in the chat room I think I saw earlier that said there is no space, that space is a lie. But assuming there is a space, Basil, would you rather be lost at sea or lost in space, and why?
What sort of vessel am I in both of these situations?
Whatever you want to conjure.
Wow. So I can have a really cool mega yacht in the ocean, or a super cool mega yacht spaceship in space.
Yeah, but you're lost. You're by yourself. You're miles, thousands of miles from civilization.
Do I have food? Do I have supplies?
A limited amount, yeah.
Because if I was in the ocean, I could fish and get more supplies.
Yeah.
But in space, you can't space fish, man.
You don't believe in those space jellyfish?
Yeah, unless NASA is lying and there's space jellyfish that are edible and filled with fresh water. I'd have to say, is there chance of rescue?
No.
No.
You're lost. You're lost
Okay.
either in space.
No chance of rescue.
Yeah.
I'm going to space, baby.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I'll see you in space. Yeah. I mean, if there was chance of rescue, maybe I'd go ocean. But then again, when's the next chance I'm going to get to go to space?
Right.
Well, maybe that's another part of the question. Is space travel at this time something that I can do all the time? Or is it like right now where I could only go to space in this particular case?
Probably the latter. Well, I don't know. If you're going to get lost in space, you're probably in a situation where there is, space travel to some extent is common.
Yeah.
Right. Deep.
Yeah, super deep. I don't know, man. I do like the ocean.
Here's kind of my answer to it, which is that if I was in a submarine, I may consider the ocean because.
Ooh.
Because space is cool, but the distances between the stuff, allegedly, right?
I mean,
is
you pretty much, you can't really do anything in space.
Yeah.
And you probably couldn't see stuff unless your spaceship was super cool and you could get close to planets and stuff.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you could set the course to, given the basic understanding of what space is now, you could set the course to the nearest star and like die on the way there, like never get there.
But Natalina makes a great point, and that's that there are no sharks in space.
Yeah, no sharks, no whales.
Yeah. Unless NASA is lying to us, bro.
There's space sharks.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Reality 358 wants to come on. So what do you want to talk about, Reality 358? And
I
also,
think he wants to do flat Earth.
more flat Earth? Come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe unless he has some like unheard of evidence, that would be cool.
Space serpents. That's by the way, I can't find the video. I've looked for it. But there's like old footage of like UFO hunters capturing what looks like some sort of translucent jellyfish type thing in the sky. I don't know if you've seen this, Basil. I don't know if anyone in the.
I have not seen this.
It's really bizarre.
This sounds amazing.
And it makes, and I remember watching that and thinking like, because I spent a lot of time in water growing up, competitive swimmer.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, I have dreams where I'm flying, but the way I fly in my dream is very much how I move in the water kind of thing.
Yes.
And I got thinking like maybe there is like a higher dimension of existence that's kind of in between our atmosphere and space. And space is more like liquid than we realize or we are told,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's basically what the thought was when basically space was first found, was that, it's filled with ether, which was sort of a liquidy substance that everything sat in. And, still could be that way if NASA's lying to us, bro.
You should just get a shirt that says that.
Yeah, well, I'm realizing now that so many of assumptions that we make could be
it's all just a lie.
Debunked with NASA's lying to us, bro.
You know what's funny about that? I have I play basketball at the gym here.
You're
and
cool.
I'm so cool. I dunk on people. It's amazing. I don't know how it happens. And there's a guy. He's a Christian guy that comes to the gym, and he was wearing a NASA shirt one day. And I was guarding him, and I was just giving him the hardest time about it. I was like, dude, how could you support? Look at this. Look at the serpent tongue on your shirt, bro. Like, what are you doing? And he was like, I don't get that stuff, man. I don't get that conspiracy stuff. It doesn't make any sense.
You actually confronted him about it?
Yes. I was guarding him. I wanted to distract him somehow, Like he'd have the ball, and I'd be like, dude, you're a Satan worshiper right now with that shirt.
Gosh, you're going to get elbow checked in the face.
I have been elbow checked. I've been strangled by, it's one of those things. It's a 24-hour fitness, and these guys get so into it. And it's like, guys, this is the 24-hour fitness gym basketball. This isn't the NBA playoffs. So you guys need to relax. Yeah. The guys take their basketball really seriously, man.
Well, that's how you win. That's the champion's mindset, man. I was going to say bro again, but I said it too many times.
Yeah, all right.
Button up this last button if I can. Nope, it's too tight. All right.
Okay.
All right.
What other questions? I had a bunch of little random questions for you. So I'm going to bust out some time travel if you don't mind.
Okay.
And I know they're still trying to figure out who wants to come on and stuff in the chat.
I know Reality 358 really wants to come on.
15 minutes and convert half the people listening. Convert to
DCL says, "Can you do it in 3 minutes?" Can you do it in 3 minutes, Reality 358? We might be able to parse out exactly 3 minutes to hear some more flat Earth stuff. DCL, my cat is a boy. Boy cat.
Boy cat. I think somebody.
Yeah. Yoel Segai is asking quite a bit where hell is. And it was sort of in reference to the flat Earth thing. Personally, I think hell is more of an interdimensional thing. I feel like a lot of the spiritual reality around us is more of what we would understand as being a interdimensional reality.
Yeah, that's the other part of it too, not to cut you off, but
sure.
I feel like the flat Earth argument sort of forgets that we live kind of in a multi-dimensional sort of, spiritual world overlapping the physical world.
Right.
And, so in that sense, it's like, okay, if it's flat, great. Still doesn't change the fact that we have a spiritual world. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. So,
right.
to me, it just focuses a little too much on the flesh side of things,
Right.
in terms of the physical world itself. And, and we've talked about it with Josh Peck when we actually, substantive conversations where, we talked about what is reality anyway. Like when we start realizing the spiritual world and how real it is,
Right.
it's like, how do you even define like what's real anymore? So that sort of thing.
Right.
The whole quantum stuff.
Yep.
Sorry, I totally cut you off, man. I never
No,
cut
that's
you
good.
off.
I was done. I had nothing else.
Okay.
Jonathan Lewis wants to know if I fetter. I don't know what that is. Doesn't have to do with like shackles on your feet? I do not have shackles on my feet, Jonathan. Thanks for noticing, though. I've been working out a little bit.
Stacy loves you.
Who's Stacy?
Stacy.
Oh, I
A.
love you, Stacy A91972.
Jerry
All right.
Sumter says, right, do we need to understand everything?
No, I don't think it's possible. I don't think we need to. I think the gospel is the biggest one. I think we need to do that. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I like thinking about things. What was I thinking about? Oh, I was exploring some philosophy stuff. I don't know if I understood it enough to have a conversation about it here, but I was looking into simulation and simulacra.
Ooh.
Yeah, have you looked into that?
I have not.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. If you take it into the context of just social engineering or social constructs, it's actually pretty fascinating. The book made an appearance in The Matrix. So if that tells you anything about it, that'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that's maybe you can dig into it a little more and we can actually have an episode about it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Complete with sound effects and crazy noises.
Do a whole thing, do a whole big production.
Yeah, and by the end of it, people's brains are like leaking out of their ears.
Yeah. Oh, Jonathan Lewis says, flat earther, fetter, like flat earth theory, FET. Is it a coincidence that fetter means shackles on your feet or constraints on your limbs? I don't know. Might want to figure out a different word for it. Jerry's got his grip on simulacra.
At least deconstruction. Yeah, that stuff starts to hurt my head when I read some of the philosophical
stuff. It hurts my
stuff.
head too. And there's a difference. And here's the thing. I actually had I wouldn't call him a mentor. I would call him a spiritual man who is older than me and likes to give advice freely. Warned me of looking through, looking into philosophy and trying to understand things like that. Because, there's a verse about something about philosophy's bad.
Vain, what is it? I know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
Right. So yeah. Well, I just use it to sort of understand different viewpoints of the world.
Right.
And, it helps to know what other people are thinking or, actually a lot of different philosophy theories or ways of looking at things actually kind of open your mind a little bit to what the reality between us and the spirit world could be. So there you go.
Yeah, I that's a good point. I mean, I guess that's kind of not ignored necessarily, but in the realm of deep philosophy, it seems like, you're almost, by virtue of speaking of the deep philosophical things of, reality and everything, you are kind of tapping into that spiritual world in a sense. So
yeah, and if nothing else, it's just opening up your mind to realizing that reality is a lot more complicated than we could ever think.
Yeah.
Speaking
of complicated realities, I have another question for you, Basil.
Okay, let's hear it.
We can spin off on whatever happens here. There's a show called Best Friends Whenever on the Disney Channel, which I know everyone's totally stoked about the Disney Channel. The premise of the show is that there's a couple girls, they're friends, they're best friends, right? Best friends whenever. Their name's Sid and Shelby, and they're best friends living together. And during the parents go to an archaeological dig in Peru. Interesting, right?
Right.
And after there was an accident in one of their friends' science labs, and they're given the ability to travel in time, provided they are thinking of the time they want to go to and are together, hugging or high-fiving. So like if you watch the show, like it's kind of funny. They'll hug each other and like they'll disappear and travel through time, and they have all these adventures.
Right.
So my question to you, Basil, is if we were part of Best Friends Whenever, and we, can travel through time, what would our friendship time travel pose be? For these girls, it's hugging, and I think it's a high five. What would ours be?
Ooh, I like the high five. Anybody who knows me personally knows I love high fives. But since we're like over the internet most of the time, like we actually don't see each other that often in person anymore. I think maybe like a fist bump like in a camera maybe.
Oh, so like
we're like boom. Like we can both do that. And then what do we have to do? We have to think.
We have to think of the same time. So let's say a year. Usually it's a year. So yeah.
All right. What are you down for the fist bump?
I'm down. Yeah. Let's do the fist bump. Okay.
Fist bump works. Okay.
So are we gonna try to?
Do you want to? You want to try to do it? You want to try to time travel?
Yeah, but we got to be thinking of the same time though. That's the key here. If we're not thinking of the same time,
here's what we'll do. We'll count to 3.
Okay.
We'll fist bump, and then we will both shout out a year, and we'll see if we can time travel.
Are you gonna count down or something?
Oh gosh, I'll count down.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm nervous now.
All right.
Wait, we gotta pretend we're like in a scary situation that we need to escape.
Okay, so let's see.
The Illuminati has us captured.
The Illuminati has us captured,
and we're chained in a dungeon.
But how are we gonna?
But we have one hand free for some reason.
No, it froze.
That other hand go.
Hold on, Basil. We went offline for a second.
I see our live stream health is good now.
Oh, it's good now. I think it went off for a second.
Yeah.
I think it froze.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it did freeze. I think at least mine froze.
You froze. I kept going.
Oh boy. Okay, so where were we? Oh yeah, we were captured by the Illuminati.
Yes.
One hand is chained in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Maybe with a fetter or something. But we have the other hand. All right.
Okay.
And we're about to fist bump.
Fist bump, and then say a year.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Gonz, we got to time travel and get out of here. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
1592.
1776. What'd you say?
1592.
Oh, why'd you do that?
I don't know.
Oh. I said 1776 so we can go back to when both the America was being founded and also the Illuminati was being disbanded around that time. I think they were disbanded in 78. Is that true?
Yeah, a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to go back before then so we could defeat our enemies before we get trapped in a dungeon.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good call. You can take out Adam Weishaupt and just the whole Jesuit order while you're there.
Yeah, except for we didn't think of the same year, so now we're still stuck in a dungeon from the Illuminati.
Yeah, well.
Now we need Josh Peck to like reach through dimensions and come save us.
Okay.
All right.
I like how Josh Peck makes it into the live stream as just like time traveling or quantum leaping or something.
Yeah, well, that's what he does.
Soul Survivor is disappointed in me. Evidently, I don't have a science background. Is this something I said?
I don't know.
And I don't really have a science background, by the way. Social sciences, but not like science. I was actually pretty rebellious in science classes.
Yeah.
I questioned the science teacher a lot, and I got in trouble a lot in my science
I actually
classes.
was not interested in science until I actually graduated from all my education, and I did all my science education by myself because I actually cared about it,
And
and I was
now,
starting to question reality. I needed to know how things worked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because in college, being a sociology major, I had to study a lot of sociologists, and those aren't the most cheery text, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
They're not the one of the for some reason one of my sociology professors loved Marx. Like
That's weird.
they were like basically a
That
socialist.
sounds like some liberal university talk.
Yeah, University of California.
Yeah,
You know
that'll
how
do
they
it to
be.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. We had another question about the mask. Mr. Tindu, Michelle. You come on, Michelle. You know this. You know this. Somebody can fill her in. Thank you, Jonathan. Let's see here. All right, any more questions? Is Reality 358 still here?
Yeah, he's in there probably somewhere. Oh, I got
Okay.
questions.
Okay, keep it going.
Okay, so this is a little more it's a little more personal for you, Basil, but it's one of those situational things again.
Okay.
But we've heard the rumors, right, about the Chinese yuan becoming a reserve currency.
Right.
We've heard, the IMF actually pulled the yuan out last minute this year, which was kind of a strange thing to do. But we've been hearing the American dollar collapse for years, and I still think it's going to happen eventually. It's just kind of an inevitable thing, I think. But given the situation that the American dollar does crash, and you had the choice to either stay in America or to go to any other nation in the world, you had the resources to go to any nation or country, what would you do and why?
Whoa.
Yeah, right?
Say it again.
You totally were not paying attention.
No, I was. Okay, so if
I know
American
what that's
currency
like.
collapses, where do
No,
do I want to go?
where do you personally, since let's say you have the resources to get to whatever nation, whatever country you want to, where would you go and for what purpose?
I would go to Norway.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of apocalypse protection for their entire country.
Mm-hmm.
The seed bank is up there.
Are you going to contribute to the seed bank, or are you going to draw from it?
It's the plants for plants, Gonz.
Okay,
it's
that
not
seed.
for
Okay,
human seed.
Sorry.
But I'm sure they do have human seed banks up there.
Not in Norway. I think they have it in one of the cold places.
Like Norway's. Yeah, that's where the seed bank is, isn't it?
Oh, I thought there was like.
They have a seed bank. They do.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I've always liked that place. My ancestry part of it is from there. They, I don't know. There you go. They've got a lot of oil. That's always good.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, I'll just build a little shack out in a cove by the fjords and live my days fishing, living off the sea because there's no fish in space unless NASA's lying to us, bro.
There's an article here. I just grabbed it. I'm just gonna
Wait, where would you go?
I'll share in a second.
Would you go to Japan?
Hold on though. Doomsday seed vault in the Arctic. Bill Gates, according to William Engdahl. I don't know how accurate this is, but according to this, Bill Gates has invested in a doomsday seed bank, like a human seed bank.
Yeah.
So,
here's the Svalbard Global Seed Vault in Norway.
Sweet.
It's on the Norwegian island of Spitsbergen, near Longyearbyen. Yeah, it's there. I'm looking at pictures of it. It's really intense.
It would be great if you can screen share that.
It would be great, but you can search it. Norway Seed Vault.
Yeah.
Are you seeing it?
No.
Oh,
Am I
oopsies.
supposed to look for it?
Oh, I was gonna say you could show people since I can't do it.
Okay. Do people really want to see it though?
Yeah,
The Svalbard. Oh, okay. I got a picture of it here.
yeah, it's nice. It's got like weird glowy things on the front.
Yeah. So you got that. You got this guy.
Adam Roberts said he would go to Ethiopia because there's a huge Christian population. Yeah, where would you guys go if all your money was gone, or if the American currency collapsed and you knew you had to get out of America? Where would you go if you had all the resources to go? Type it in right now.
See, I would go to Japan
I know.
only to help Japan, like, spread the gospel in Japan a little more, because they're not a very Christian nation.
No, they are not.
And but they're like they're really into the supernatural or the paranormal.
Uh-huh.
Just so you get an idea of like the trauma that I've experienced in my life. When I went to Japan, I was 7 years old, and we were at my aunt's house, and all the shows on TV, and Japan's they're weird. They play all these crazy game shows, right? And these game shows were all about, like, before ghost hunters and all that stuff. It was that kind of thing where they were like hunting for ghosts, and they were staying overnight at haunted places. And I remember being pretty freaked out about it, because there's a lot of mythology and legend of different creatures and stuff in Japan, like the long neck woman,
right?
There's like all kinds of weird stuff. And then I slept in my cousin's room. My cousin was, I think, about 20 or so at the time. Remember, I'm 7 years old, okay?
Tiny little Gonz.
Tiny Gonz running around. And he goes, "We're going to watch movies tonight." And I go, "Okay." Freddy Krueger marathon. At 7 years old.
Yeah.
I did not sleep for like 2 days. I was so freaked out.
Yeah, well, the Japanese, they got all the scariest movies anyways.
Yeah, well, yeah, like the what was
All
that movie that
scariest-
came over, The Ring?
Yeah,
That was
well, and
Japanese.
that's just the one that was like suitable for American audiences. There's like a whole bunch that are terrifying.
Yeah. So I think they need the gospel over there. So I would go there and try to speak some sense into my my
Yeah.
lineage.
So, Audrey says she'd go to New Zealand. She'd, walk the road to Mordor. Camouflage 58 says Brazil. All right, play some
Not
football. Decayer 1 says he'd go to
Switzerland.
Switzerland. That's an interesting idea. Adam Roberts wants to know if you saw the portal open up in Japan.
I think Adam. I wonder if Adam's talking about the during the Fukushima plant thing. I know there was some video footage of alleged.
Oh yeah, I remember
UFOs and
that.
weird like portal things opening up, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
hard to tell.
I don't remember. I remember something about a portal. There's
Well,
a lot of conspiracy.
there's also the Devil's Triangle, I think, which is like, if you believe in a spherical Earth, is the opposite side of the Bermuda Triangle, and it's known to do a similar thing where, like, ships disappear and stuff like that. So
Right. Oh yeah, that's true.
pretty interesting.
Reality 358 has got some tips for us here, Gons.
Always good.
The key to great radio is number 1, talk about the most important things, like where we would time travel if we had to, or what country we would live in if we had to. Number 2 must be cutting edge info, like jellyfish in space because NASA's lying to us. 3 must be new stuff, news, ideas, etc. Yeah, like those jellyfish. Or something else. 5 must be entertaining. Nah, we're screwed.
We don't check out on any of those boxes.
Nope.
At least tonight.
I know.
Yeah.
Sounds like old. What was his name? I can't. Gosh, this scrolling thing is so difficult.
Yeah.
Reality 358. We should do some sweet radio shows. Belize, interesting. Okay, so anything else, Gonz?
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely. I did want to, and I usually we try to sit and talk about stuff a little bit before we like go on air with stuff,
Yeah.
or even just talk about stuff in general. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we don't necessarily always have people around us that are open to discussing certain events, world events, things like that.
Right.
Which, by the way, is becoming more prevalent. I actually had a co-church, just a person that goes to church with us, and I'm at a really small church out here in Southern California, and this guy, he's a dad. Him and his wife, they've been there. They do announcements every once in a while or whatever. And I'm packing up because I play guitar and worship. I'm packing up my stuff, and he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." And he goes, "Can you tell me a little bit about the Illuminati?" And I was like, "Whoa, sure. Let's put our stuff down and sit down and talk about it." So I started to talk to him about it, and the reason why he brought it up was because one of his family members over Thanksgiving, they were doing some family activities and stuff like that, and they were coming up with nicknames for themselves or whatever. And one of their, I think it was a niece or something, labeled herself the Illumined or something to that nature.
Ooh.
And they asked her like, "Hey, why? What's the reason?" And she wouldn't say. And then another relative said, "Oh, it's because the Illuminati. She's really into the Illuminati."
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and so they wanted to know what the Illuminati is and where she would get that information and stuff like that. So it was a good conversation because, I think more people are starting to need information regarding this kind of stuff because, friends, family, they're being bombarded with stuff, and, it's not always easy to talk about, or you don't really know where to go to learn about that stuff. I mean, there's lots of stuff on the internet, but half of it is like Basil's, chin line to his collar is an upside down triangle. If you flip that around,
Illuminati shill.
Yeah, I mean, half the stuff on the internet's like that. So, yeah, I don't know. So that happened, but I was gonna lead to some other topic. I can't remember what it was.
Come on.
I think it was a pretty big deal.
I say let's get somebody on the air.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Reality 358. You have 3 minutes. Do you have Skype set up?
Riveting radio based on his own standards here.
Did this last time too. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? No, but about that Illuminati thing going on with just people being into it. I met a guy who did have the Eye of Horus tattooed on his neck.
Oh gosh.
With the Mason compass and protractor or whatever around it. And it was so interesting because, he was just super into the Illuminati, was totally on board with the whole New World Order thing, thought it was the only way to just fix humanity and the universe and everything like that. And
yeah, see, the one thing that they were asking was where would they get that information? And I was kind of like,
well, it's everywhere now.
It's everywhere, right? And it's like, it would be really hard to pin down exactly one place because what the wife was trying to ask was like, what's give me an example. What's a movie? And I'm like, I mean,
no,
like,
I mean,
go to every movie. Like,
it's in a ton of movies. They don't use it by name though.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of an interesting thing I just heard. Okay. So I have a friend who is currently in Utah, and he is friends with an LDS girl, and he is on a mission in Southern California for his LDS mission, and he got interested in the Illuminati and the Masons and everything like this, and he discovered somebody that he was around was like part of a secret society or something, or I don't exactly know exactly how he figured it out, but he tailed them and like followed them and investigated them and figured out that they were part of this secret society. Now, the thing with the LDS missions is you're only allowed to email your family once a week. You can't call them, you can't do anything. The only communication you can have with your family is one email once a week, something like that. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I was told from this person that I know. And he said that the the brother found out what this secret society was and was writing an email to his sister about it, saying like, "Hey, this guy, he's in secret society, a lot of shady stuff going on. I think it's real big. I'm onto something real big." And he's tried to type the name of the secret society into the email, and he would type it out and it would disappear, and he would type it out and it would disappear, and he would type it out and it would disappear. It wasn't letting him type the name.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he wasn't able to communicate what the name of it was. But he was like just super intense about it and was like, I'll get back to you. I got to figure out a way to do this. So there's like some LDS kid in Southern California hot on the trail of like some serious business. And he's not able to communicate it through email, apparently.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what I was just told. And I got real excited about it. So I'm keeping in contact with everybody involved and trying to get the scoop on it.
Yeah, you should like Google that term and
Well, I don't know what the term is. We don't know what it is.
We'll find out.
He's unable to tell us what it is.
But can't
It
he
won't- like you can't.
No, another freeze. Maybe they're onto us too. Here on this happens to me. Sorry, Basil, it fell off again.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Anyways, I was just gonna say.
Hold on. Okay, we're back.
Okay, stream froze or something?
Yeah, stream
Oh,
froze.
yeah,
and it's
see, I'm
back.
seeing that I froze again. Anyways, so yeah, so he tried to like Google it and try to figure it out, and it just took him to like error pages, or it just took him to nothing. Like you type it into Google, and instead of it being like there are no search results, it's just like really messed up his browser. So, anyways,
Can't he
interesting stuff.
Does he have a phone?
That's the thing. They're not allowed to make phone calls or whatever. Again, this is what I'm told. This could be all hooey, but I had somebody that I trust come to me and tell me this. But yeah, when they're on a mission, they're not allowed to like make phone calls to their family or anything. They can only email once a week.
Sweet. All right.
All right. Reality 358 wants to take his 3 minutes on flat Earth.
Okay.
Reality Changer 1 is his Skype.
Okay. Give me 1 sec here. Give something for people to look at while I do a switcheroo.
Okay.
I gotta find
Entertainment, dancing guy with a mask. Woo! Yeah. Is this working for anybody? It's working for me. Most fun I've had all night.
Love it.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, DCL, you gotta keep count. Are you talking about timing reality 358?
Oops. Hold on. I think I froze Basil. Wait, sorry, I froze you for some reason.
Oh, thank you.
Like I didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Anyways, what I was going to say is, we're not trying to be mean about it. We're just, the flat earth debate tends to go in circles and tends to have a lot of things that we're unable to, really to, whatever the word is, confirm and things like that. So we'll hear what you have to say.
Okay, I'm going to add him to the call here. Give me 1 sec. Why is my internet so slow? What are you doing to it, Basil?
Gonz, question for you.
Yeah.
Question: on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being Kent Hovind and 10 being Eric Dubé, where do each of you stand as of today?
On what, the flat Earth? Obviously the flat Earth, because Eric DeBay is a flat Earth guy.
Yeah, it must be that.
Uh,
Yo, man,
I don't even think Eric DeBay is a super flat Earth guy. I think Matt Boylan is like the ultimate flat Earth guy.
Yeah.
I'm entertained by Matt Boylan. He's the former NASA artist guy, who said that. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. Not happening.
It's okay. I would say I don't conform to your labels. R2, R0 media.
Conform to your labels.
I'm not going to conform to your labels. I'm open and interested in the subject. I don't necessarily put myself on a.
Oops. Sorry, I totally muted you out again. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I'm trying
What's going on over there?
I'm trying to connect people that are not connected, and it's causing problems.
And trying to do it on a whole new system that we've never used before.
Well, no, it's just Skype. But okay, here we go. He's all right. So now I can add him to the call.
Okay. My phone's almost out of battery, so somebody else might have to time him.
Okay. I'll time him.
Okay, I got my stopwatch here. Timer for 3 minutes, and then we'll see how it goes. Is he here?
Sounds like it.
So how am I coming through? How's my audio?
A little funky, but we can hear you.
Okay, so this is great.
All right. Let's hear it. You got 3
flat
minutes. Tell us about the flat Earth.
Right. Well, I just want to say, Face Like the Sun, I pulled a lot of information when I was doing radio over at Revolution Radio. I got a lot of good stuff from you, and I always promoted you. So I just want to let you know, still keep track of you.
Cool.
In fact, there's a lot of alternative radio out there that all are now referencing basically your YouTube channel, Face Like the Sun. So
really?
Keep up the good work.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So this flat Earth, real simple. Take a telescope, put it on a tripod, take it to your backyard, set it on the ground, look up, look at a star, and then realize these are NASA's numbers. I'm not giving anything that NASA. You can Google this stuff, you can Wikipedia it, but just realize that the telescope and the ground that it's sitting on is spinning over 1,000 miles an hour. That means that telescope and the ground it's sitting on, looking at that star, is spinning per second, 1,466 feet per second. And it's also, the telescope, according to curvature, is dropping 2 inches per second. So just think about that. When you take a telescope and you set it on the ground and you look up, realizing as little as 9-10 seconds, that telescope and the ground that you've been sitting on has already spun something like 3 miles. In other words, the Earth spins over 1,000 miles an hour, 1,038 miles an hour. The speed of sound is 764. Sorry for the noise back there.
It's all right.
Yeah.
That's one point. You can't even see a star through a telescope under the NASA model because the Earth is spinning so quick. The second point, also NASA numbers, is when you look up into the sky and you see the stars, realize this, that the Earth is not only spinning over 1,000 miles an hour, but it's going around the sun at over 66,000 miles an hour. That's going around the sun, but it gets better. The sun is moving through our galaxy, the galactic plane, at 666,000 miles an hour. But it gets better. Our galaxy is moving through the universe at 1.3 million miles an hour.
Right.
So, and the stars remain the same for 1,000 years. The pole star has not moved for 1,000 years. Do you realize just in 2,000 years, at those kind of speeds, we have moved something like 20 or 30 trillion miles? The speed of light is basically 6,000 miles in 1 year. That's the speed of light. So we have moved multiple speeds of
It's
light.
much further than that.
Oh yeah. Oh no, no.
6,000 miles?
No, not 6,000. 6 trillion. 6 trillion. I'm sorry. Yeah, over the last couple thousand miles years, we've moved 20 to 25 trillion miles, and yes, the speed of light is 6 trillion miles.
Right, but then you got to think about those stars being billions and billions of light years away under the NASA model.
What part of 20 or 30 trillion miles? And in fact, you can take a look at the pole star. One guy's done it. He's from the Navy. He paints.
Sorry, I said miles. I meant light years.
Yeah, great. He paints targets on ships. There is no curvature on the Earth. Just Google it, or just Google Mount Everest 360, and you'll see at almost 30,000 feet. It's all eye level. It's all razor sharp flat. There is no curvature. They've sent balloons up.
Right.
This whole flat Earth thing's getting ready to get completely blown open. There's a huge mountain of evidence for flat Earth. Meanwhile, the ball earthers, NASA, they don't even have a real picture of the Earth hanging in space. In fact, they don't even have a picture. They got telescopes of the little buggy or the flag up on the moon. They give us some convoluted stuff. They come up with stories. Pluto has an atmosphere. Oh, by the way, Mars has rivers of rivers flowing on Mars with our little rinky-dink, what do you call it? When you go through the air with information, automatic. They're controlling it through
radio frequencies.
Yeah, radio frequencies at 3 million miles. It's all bunk. Yeah, this is one big demonic setup. This whole ball Earth theory, and what I meant about when you get the flat Earth, you get everything. Listen to me, a face like the sun, because I know you're a good Christian. You're a disciple, actually. You get flat Earth, you get God, you get the Bible, you get the whole one world order satanic system, you get the whole one world lie system and all the lies through school. You get NASA as a liars. You kill evolution. It slaughters everything. Once you realize the true witness, as insane as it may seem, that the Earth is actually flat, as soon as that comes into your psyche, that's the witness of the Earth. You go to God. It forces you to say, "Hey, look, there's a Creator here." Once you go to the Creator points you to His Son, His only begotten Jesus. Hundreds of atheists are being saved through the flat Earth model. Thousands and thousands of people, because they got no place to go. Right. But anyways, here I am. I'm too charged up. So you gave me 3 minutes. I do appreciate it.
Yep.
Appreciate. I'll keep on listening to your show. This is the Hijacker. Everybody can read my voice print, so you should get a bump. I had a huge audience, but thanks so much for taking my call, Basil and Gonzo. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
You betcha, buddy. Yeah, it's a bunch of interesting stuff. It's I've heard a lot of those same points and pieces of evidence from other flat earthers. Again, a lot of it is very interesting. A lot of it isn't taking into account laws of relativity. Obviously, Einstein could have been a liar, but you never know. But yeah, so there you go.
Well, I appreciate that stuff. Again, it feels like, when I hear some of those theories, and I mean, some of it, allegedly can be tested, and I haven't been able to test these things personally, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. So I would be taking one person's word over another, so to speak.
Right.
But the one thing that stood out to me with everything, and nothing specific of what he was describing, was the whole idea of getting the whole idea of one world order, the satanic order, everything. I feel like I grasped that without a flat Earth, and I guess getting atheists saved through the flat Earth is wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be against that, and so it's one of those issues where, again, I'm not going to. For me, the evidence has to be pretty overwhelming, and right now, and maybe I haven't looked at it enough, but it's nothing that is so overwhelming that it is ultra convincing. I've done some basic graphs and stuff like that based on some evidence that people have given me, and looked at the scale of certain stuff, and it was just like, there's no way that you can prove a flat Earth from the information I was given.
Right, from the height that the balloons went up and took a look at.
Yeah, that was some of it.
That was a good graph. I'm sad you didn't share it.
Oh, I could probably find it somewhere.
Yeah.
Actually, let me look for it.
Look for that. Bring that up. And like I said, I'm not completely turned off to the flat Earth theory. DCL mentioned that relativity is sort of defunct, and depending on what scale you're looking at, obviously we've seen that in the quantum world, relativity doesn't necessarily hold the same sort of weight as it does in our world. But relativity is fairly easy to produce experiments with. I saw a video that a young high schooler won like $500,000 for college or something, explaining relativity, and you can kind of apply it to the whole Earth blasting through the universe type thing. So that piece of evidence doesn't necessarily hold a lot with me, just because of the scale of the universe. When you fully comprehend, which we're almost unable to do, when you fully comprehend how unimaginably large the universe is and how crazy far away the stars are, and again, in the NASA model that they give us that we've been taught, it doesn't necessarily debunk the global Earth in that sense.
Well, that's the other thing that was interesting, was a lot of what he was explaining with the stars anyway.
Sorry, that always happens.
You looked bald.
I looked bald?
You looked very bald.
Without my headset?
Yeah.
Sorry. I just have to keep a cat from tearing something apart here.
What was I saying? Oh, to me, it felt like some of those same arguments can be made for a geocentric Earth,
Yeah.
Or so it seemed anyway. I'm trying to still find this thing that I made. I can't remember what I called it.
Keep looking. And the whole thing with the, atheists getting saved because of flat Earth evidence, that's great. I'm all about that. Like I said, my biggest, the biggest good thing I can say about the flat Earth is it is having people wake up and kind of think more about reality and think more about, what they've been conditioned to think about the world around them already. So that's great. I'm totally into that.
And I'll be totally honest. When I first started looking into this topic, which was a few months ago when we everyone was telling us to sort of do it,
right?
It did cause me to walk outside and look around and like, just kind of, all right, kind of looking around, going, are we really, just the whole question reality sort of moment,
Right.
And it does sort of sit in the front of your mind, and that alone sort of made me suspicious a little bit. The fact that it was kind of, getting everybody so riled up about it.
Right. Well, and people's ministries being severely damaged by it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That's not good. Caretaker, is there a way to view this broadcast after it is finished? Yes. It is almost immediately posted as an archive, and you can watch it.
Sorry, I keep doing
pretty
this
soon after. Have you found your graph yet?
No, I can't find it. I'm so bummed because it's like, hold on, maybe. Oh yeah, I did find it. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, put that sucker up.
Okay. Jeez.
Put that sucker up. I gotta This cat is severely ruining my carpet. Stop it.
Real life problems.
Yeah. Flat Earth, how about my cat ruining my apartment?
Now, okay, this is let me explain what's going on with this here. So again, this is just based on, the model of that we're told. The Earth diameter, and tell me if I'm wrong here. I mean, I showed Basil, and I think I was right with this stuff, but I could be wrong. So, I'm not a super math genius, despite the fact that I am Asian. I understand that is a very strange thing, but I have a history with math that is unpleasant that caused me to hate math. So here's the diameter of the Earth, right? That's given to us, and then let's see what happens. There it is, and per scale, I made it so it's each one of those little square thingies is a certain distance. Each edge of a square here is 494.84 miles. And then, so the balloon of the camera that people were talking about went up 22 miles, which was 120,000 feet into the air. And they're saying there's no curvature that can be seen. So, and again, I'm not saying that it disproves the flat Earth. I'm saying this particular piece of information that people use.
Right.
If you zoom in at how far away that little balloon went up in conjunction to the Earth, it's that. That's how far up it is.
Right.
And I mean, yes, this is pixelated. I understand that, but you cannot see a curvature from this angle.
From that perspective.
From that perspective, it's impossible to really see it. So that's kind of what I was saying in my little short thing here. Which
this
is,
video is so funny.
I know. I have no audio with it.
You posted it on a forum or something?
I think it was just a Facebook thing. Yeah, that's how far up the balloon went in conjunction to the Earth's surface before it popped in relationship to the Earth. So that's my video.
Right. There you go. And then there's a whole bunch of, and I don't know. It's very interesting. I like the video. Good video, Gonz.
Yeah, thanks.
You really put your math to work.
Yeah, my math and Photoshop scale skills.
Yeah, not bad. So yeah, what really got me was something that Rob Skiba shared with us when we were talking with him about a week and a half ago, maybe, which was, and I have not done this experiment myself. If somebody out there wants to do it and show me, I mean, there's videos out there of it, but the moonlight thing.
Yep.
Do you remember that, Gonz?
Yep. How the moon gives its own light.
But it gives cold light.
Right.
Where if you have moonshine, and then you have
if you have moonshine, lots of things are possible.
If you have moonshine, oh, the Earth is real flat. If you have moonshine and you have moon shadow, and you take the temperature with a laser thermometer in the shadow of the moon and also the light of the moon, it's actually colder in the light of the moon, which theoretically could mean that moonlight is its own light that somehow cools things off.
You know what's really interesting about that?
And if that's true, that's going to blow my mind. That's the end. I don't even know what I'll do after that.
Yeah, well, the Bible says, a second light.
There you go.
There's a very interesting thing. When I was studying alchemy, one of the documents I came across was how to create the Philosopher's Stone, the actual substance, which they claim can be done.
Right.
And there's a whole process, and a very involved process. And one of the things that you do is you have to get a certain type of liquid, and that liquid is morning dew that has been bathing in moonlight. And it has to be like a certain amount before, of course, right? Because
it's alchemy.
It's alchemy. You have to, it's very specific,
Right.
But, once you get that, I can't remember the whole process, but once you get the substance, it is so ethereal that it can't even stay in a flask. It goes through the flask, is what they say. And so you have to build this particular stone casing to hold the substance. And so if anyone wants to try it, it's like a 6-month process. So if
Don't
anyone
try
wants to
it.
do
You'll
don't try
probably
it.
invite some mean things to come mess with you.
Yeah, I joke when I say that because it was one of those documents where it's like, well, yeah, you're gonna say that because no one's gonna do this. Like, no one's gonna be able to pull it off. And the guy who published it, it's like if they fail, it's like, oh, you did it wrong.
Right.
You didn't get the right number of moonshine water.
Yeah. Oh, Richard Wakanivalu is calling you out.
What do you say?
Teaching alchemical spells now, you heretic.
Yep. That's what I do pretty much, basically.
Yeah.
Is I'm a shill. The Illuminati pays me by telling lies to people.
Yeah, I was gonna say they pay you in being despised on the internet and having to work your butt off for almost no pay.
Pretty much my life. It's pretty awesome.
You and me both, brother.
I know. Let's. Let's.
Oh, you know what's an interesting thing? Have you seen the new ISIS propaganda video?
I have not seen the video.
Oh
There's
my
a
goodness.
new one. There's always one.
Oh, this one, some videographer made some serious cash on this one. New ISIS propaganda video, no respite. Let's see if that pulls it up. This is interesting for those of you who have seen this. I mean, it's interesting because it's kind of funny, but it's not funny, obviously. But it's like, this is like the epitome of a propaganda video. Here, I'm going to send it to you, Gonz.
Okay.
Open it up and maybe
is
you
this
can
something we can show?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, there's blood and angry Muslim people. No, there's no like crazy like beheadings or anything, I don't think. Okay, this is a warning. This is a ISIS propaganda video. I watched it earlier today. I don't remember any crazy graphic things, anything more than definitely nothing close to what you would have seen in other videos released. Of actual beheadings and shootings and things like this. This is more like they got some video company to make this video, to make them look really scary. Are you able to show it?
Yeah, I don't know why, but Yahoo, like the last few days, for some reason, Yahoo took over my browser.
Oh boy!
And it's like anytime I go to like certain websites, it just takes me to Yahoo, and it's like, what? I'm not trying to go to Yahoo.
Oh, that's weird.
You crazy computer hacker people. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So
button wars,
Yeah.
Clickety clickety wars.
Clickety click.
Okay.
Your face like the sun logo.
It's still happening. Hang on 1 second.
Okay, yeah, figure it out. Anyways, this was a new video that came out that's actually produced. Like they seemed like they paid a lot of money.
Okay, I'm gonna show it. Do you want me to play sound or?
Yeah, play sound.
Okay, now you're not going to be able to hear it.
Okay.
Because how this thing works.
That's fine.
Okay, so you can talk over it though. I'll play the sound kind of low or whatever.
Let's just. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of hard.
4 minutes.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes long, but it's very interesting if you haven't already seen it.
Really loud.
This is our Khilafah in all its glory. Remaining
so you have here, obviously, look at the curvature of the
earth. It was established in the year 1435 Hijri. Its leader from the tribe of Quraysh is Sheikh Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, and its territory is already greater than Britain, 8 times the size of Belgium and 30 times the size of Qatar. It's a state built on the prophetic methodology, striving to follow the Quran and Sunnah, not a secular state built on man-made laws whose soldiers fight for the interests of Taghut legislators, liars, fornicators, corporations, and for the freedoms of sodomites.
They got the
We are
corporate
men
thing right.
honored with Islam who climbed its peaks to perform jihad, answering the call to unite under one flag. This is the source of our glory, our obedience to our Lord. We are uncompromising in our call to Tawheed, We
Yeah.
only bow to Allah,
All their
unlike the
jihadi
countless
warriors are
deviant
in,
factions
like,
raising their
matching
false
garb.
banners
That's
and
something you
changing
don't
with
see
the
all the
winds of
time.
Jahili politics. Yes, we are the soldiers who stomp the idols of nationalism, demolish the shirki symbols of Palmyra and Ninoa, and destroy the Sykes-Picot borders. For
Do you know
there
what that
no
is,
honor to be
Sykes-Picot?
found in the remnants of shirk and nationalism, and no difference between an Arab and a non-Arab, or a black man and a white man, except through piety. This is the glory of faith that unites us.
Oh,
Justice
look, Asian
is
guy.
served with the establishment of the Islamic courts.
They
and
got
there are
your
thousands
people.
of masajid and schools for our
okay, there's
cubs
a
and
weird
pearls,
white guy with a
where
beard.
they prepare themselves to share in the great rewards of expanding this khilafah. America, you claim to have the greatest army history has known. You may have the numbers and weapons, but your soldiers lack the will and resolve. Still scarred from their defeats in Afghanistan and Iraq, they return dead or
Are you listening to
suicidal,
this?
with over
Yeah.
6,500 of them killing themselves each year. So while you go around cooking the facts on the results of your military airstrikes, we continue to haunt the minds of your soldiers and sow fear into
Jeez,
their
how long
hearts.
does this thing go?
With
Oh, it's almost done.
18 of
Yeah,
your
it's
soldiers
4
committing
minutes long.
suicide each day before you've even advanced. And in addition to the $6 trillion price tag on your war against the Muslims, you're now too weak to put boots on the ground. You opt instead to attack us from the air with missiles, each worth $250,000, while we send your proxies to hell with 50-cent bullets. Then there's your new coalition of devils, with Iran, Turkey, and Russia joining the fray. That's because the Millah of Kufr will always unite you together to fight the truth. So bring it on, all of you. Your numbers only increase us in faith, and we're counting your banners, which our prophet said would reach 80 in number. And then the flames of war will finally burn you on the hills of death. Bring it on, for we echo the mighty call of our prophets. Gather your allies, plot against us, and show us no respite. Our ally is the greatest. He is Allah, and all glory belongs to Him.
Global Earth.
Okay.
So there you go. What do you think about that?
They hired a really intense voiceover guy.
I know. Now, Natalina says she can just imagine some CIA contract worker cooking this up on
That's hysterical.
That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. The CIA gave them After Effects. So, there's so many things in that video. There's the production value is crazy. I mean, it looks like somebody from Hollywood did it. As both you and I have used After Effects, I mean, that thing must have it must have taken since Russia got involved. Like as soon as Russia got involved, they had to have started it.
Yeah.
And they brought up they hit a lot of emotional points, with our soldiers and the suicides and the
they're on to us again. Basil, you froze at 2.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, we were offline. Oh, we're back online. Man, this thing. I wonder if it's the OBS software that's like.
Yeah, it kind of seems to be, doesn't it? Anyways, so it was our R2RO media. It was disturbing. It was almost, what disturbed me a lot was the point they made about, we're fighting for Allah, and that's basically it. Just their fervor for the religion, kind of did a little bit of a propaganda on me, which is like, oh yeah, they're kind of making a good point. Like they're incredibly devoted because of the religion in this propaganda piece. Now, keep in mind, this is propaganda. That's the whole point, is to make you afraid. and
or make you want to join them.
or that, yeah. And like Jerry Sumter said, it's very emotionally demoralizing, and they focus very much on that. And that, I mean, you watch that and you're like, okay, it looks like an American made it.
Yeah.
You know, that looks like the CIA just came out with it. You know, whether it's the CIA, helping ISIS or just making it on their own and releasing it. So, anyways, what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny. Propaganda videos have caught up to the production value of our modern age, which is strange because it feels so fake.
Doesn't it?
It feels really like, I get that it's a propaganda piece. I get the emotional maybe it's because we're in video production and stuff that we kind of see videos like this differently.
Yeah. Right.
And we sort of read the production
I could almost
aspect of it.
see the keyframes whizzing by.
Yeah. You could see the particle effects on After Effects and some of the transition effects and stuff. But I don't know. I probably have to watch it again to really get the specifics on it. But I mean, I felt like they are trying to appeal to sort of the conspiracy crowd.
Kind of seemed like it, huh? I mean, they talked about a lot of stuff that the normal person might not necessarily realize.
Well, I mean, so when we talk about the United States and its origins, and we talk about the government, and they're playing on all those sentiments that the conspiracy truther community would,
right,
affirm. So in that sense, it's interesting because they're basically saying, and because the conspiracy people will say that the war is unjust and all that, they're playing on that. But it seems like they take it that next step where it's like, we will defend, bring it on,
right.
Like,
I know
we
they
will,
say that like
fight.
3-4 times.
Yeah, it's the key kind of phrase of the whole thing. But I know I can see a lot of people being moved by it, and this is what ISIS is about. I want to maybe partake in that.
It's really interesting because if anybody's been watching the Hunger Games series, a big part of that is propaganda films that my girl Jay Lawrence, not my girl, I'm sorry, she said some nasty things about Christians recently.
She did. I was like, whoa.
So sorry, Jay Law, you're losing a little bit of points here, but
I'm doing
that was
okay
a
with
big
that.
thing, was propaganda films that she in the movie was kind of used as propaganda, and they looked really fake like that. Like
that's kind of the same feel it had, huh?
Kind of had the same feel
That's
to it.
true. That's
Is
true.
that trippy?
That is true.
Yeah,
that's weird.
So there you
yeah, it's always weird watching Hunger Games. Kind of always trips me out.
Yeah. Well, the guy who played Snow, the main bad guy, president guy, he was in an interview recently, and you can look this up. And they asked him, "So what's Hunger Games about?" And he's just like, straight up, "Yeah, I'll tell you what's about. It's about America. And it's about the leadership.
I remember
It's about
seeing that.
trusting your leaders blindly." And it's about, and just like went off.
Yeah.
About it. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, no, it's true. There's some comments in here. Jerry Sumter said, I meant they linked the USA to the UN.
Right.
As though we must somehow see ourselves as pro-UN to be against ISIS. Lies. That's so true.
Right.
That's spot on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hunger Games thing is a good point, because that whole it always seemed like, and actually it was interesting because Tim Kilkenny of Revelation Radio News,
yep,
he would talk about like, I had nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with it because they're bringing up kind of the rebellion against the whole establishment idea,
Right.
But then when you think about what ISIS kind of represents, is sort of this rebellion against the establishment.
Have you seen the newest one?
I have not seen the newest one.
Yeah. Well, I won't do any spoilers, but I will say it goes places, and it's interesting. And that, if you don't want to support Hollywood, that's fine. If you don't want to support J Law, that's fine. But the movie went interesting places,
Yeah. I don't need to support J Law. Is that how you call her?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm. It's funny. Just to boast a little bit.
Ooh.
There have been several occasions where we're like, me and my wife, we're out and about, and people go, "Oh my gosh, Jennifer Lawrence! Oh my gosh!"
I know. I said that when I saw your wife too. She looks exactly like Jennifer Lawrence.
I married a little out of my league just to.
You married Jennifer Lawrence's doppelganger. It's crazy. Like not even exaggerating. Like it's crazy.
No, but my wife's older than her, and Jennifer Lawrence is kind of a. Okay, the reality is
she's a Hollywood version.
My wife looks like Jennifer Lawrence in Hunger Games, like.
There you go.
With the whole, I don't know how to explain it.
The bow and arrow. Your wife loves shooting things with bows and arrows.
Threatens me with the bow and arrow every day.
Yeah.
This is why, Basil, I'm like, between the hours of 4 p.m. and 9 p.m.
That's why we have to do live streams at 11 at night.
Yeah, because I'm doing target practice to go against the establishment.
There you go.
Well, anyway, yeah, but that's true. The whole, I got to go see the movie.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Just as people who are paying attention to, Hollywood propaganda.
I need to go see some movies. I have a handful of movies I have to go see because everyone told me to go see.
Good Dinosaur.
By the way,
the Peanuts movie.
No. Okay, Good Dinosaur. All right. So, do you know the premise of that movie?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know the premise exactly, but based on the preview that I've watched, okay? So the whole premise is, what if the comet that destroyed the Earth, destroyed the dinosaurs, missed Earth, right?
Right.
And then humans evolved or whatever, next to dinosaurs, but they're kind of the underlings of the dinosaurs.
Yep.
It's this subtle like bow to your reptilian overlords thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like
there you go. I think you discovered it. The reptilians are the leaders.
It's funny. I mentioned that to the fam watching it, and I kind of said it in that joking voice, like, "Oh, it's totally like reptilian overlord propaganda."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Go do your live stream."
That's funny.
Go tell that to your live stream people. We don't want to hear about that. Like, oh,
that's good. Oh man.
But yeah, I need to see Spectre. Everyone's telling me to see Spectre.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it, but somebody told me it's basically the Illuminati.
Yeah, and some people were saying it's the same plot as Mission Impossible. That there's like the
right. The most recent
elite.
one was basically about the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours here, Gonz.
Yep. This was a roller coaster.
This really, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very flat in its trajectory.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So, all right. Well, if anybody has anything else to ask us, do it now. Otherwise, we're going to start wrapping up. I got to start thinking of other ways to get mean comments thrown at me on the internet.
By the way, Basil, have you seen the recent Gravity Falls?
No, I have not been watching it.
Oh my gosh! Somebody mentioned it earlier in the chat, but it's like out of control. It's the whole weird apocalypse thing. So basically, the Bill Cipher character, the triangle with an eye.
Right.
So he the whole the portal opens up. Stan's twin brother, who has 6 fingers on each hand, comes through, and he's trying to prevent a dimensional rift from happening. The dimensional rift happens. Bill Cipher and his demon people or whatever come through to the Earth, and the whole Earth is not the whole Earth, but at the very least, Gravity Falls is turned into this weird apocalypse thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they come through the dimensional portal in the sky, and it's just the whole. It's crazy.
There you go.
It's cray-cray.
There you go. All right. Yeah, so if your kids are watching that, that's what they get to see.
Yeah. More Illuminati propaganda, which is funny because the guy, Alex Hirsch, has commented that, we're just making fun of it, but he's probably done his research because he kind of he
Well, they have to.
shows that he
It's
knows
too-
more than
Yeah, it's too specific.
It's
for
very
it to-
specific.
So, all right. So sounds good. I think that's about it. I think it's time to wrap it up.
There's questions coming in last second here.
I'm not seeing any questions for us.
We got expected change. How do you see the situation between Russia and Turkey, Gonz and Basil?
Oh, I think what we're being told is a lie. The official reports don't add up or make logical sense for the decisions that were made. We're just going to have to see. I think we're definitely in a World War III situation. I'm not going to say World War III is going to start, but
Some
who
people say
knows?
it's already started, like
Right.
a
Well, I
while
mean,
ago.
this-
in principle, a Cold War.
Right, right. Well, it's an interesting thing too. In investigating the simulation and simulacra, is one point is that war. There's different ways that war could happen, and one of them is just when we all decide that we are at war. Like nothing actually has to happen. It's just like, oh, I guess this is World War III. Okay, all right, this is World War III now, and then suddenly we're all at war, and it's simulacra because it's basically not happening. It's just sort
Right.
of
It's kind of happening in the mind.
because it's there because we think it's there, or we have
Right.
decided that it's there.
Right.
So I mean, we may be actually seeing a situation like that right now where we don't actually know what's going on over there. We see what Fox News sends us, and we see what we can see on the internet, and who knows where it's actually coming from. Again, I'm not trying to make light of any suffering going on by innocents, but there is a situation where if we all just sort of decided that it's World War III and we all just kind of like, oh, here we are, then that is it. Then we are. So that's something to keep in mind and not get caught up so much because it may just be the plan right now to
Feeding
make
into it.
Yeah, they may just be feeding us all this just so we all decide that we're all suddenly at war.
Yeah.
And then we all start acting that way.
Last point here before we sign off. Natalina has asked prayers for her dad. He just went to the hospital. He fell down. He's bleeding on his brain. I don't know if it's on his brain, in his brain. He's in bad shape. His name is Mike. So prayers, please, everyone, go towards Mike.
All right.
Natalina's dad. So.
All right, Lord, we pray you keep a hedge of protection around Mike, and you just touch him physically and touch his life and protect him, and that your will be done.
Amen.
Amen. All right.
Cool. Well, hopefully this technology of the OBS was worth it. I mean, at least you guys didn't have this is Wirecast.
Yeah, Wirecast lady's gone, although I think some people miss her. So
we can just sample it in the background.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds good. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
It's just a weird transition.
Remember, you can go on Canary Cry Radio, listen to all of our episodes. We are currently in the process of putting them all on YouTube to make them a little easier to share. Please go do that. That would be wonderful for us. You can go pick your favorite episode and post it on your Facebook. Let people know what's going on. I think we're doing it in reverse order. Don't ask us why. So we're down to about episode 45 right now, somewhere around there, just posted today. The Canary Cry Radio archive, USB archive project is still in effect, and we're coming up on the 100th episode. And once that 100th
We've been coming up on it for so long.
Once it's posted, then we will be sending those out. So you still have a chance to go to Canary Cry Radio, go to the support tab, and sign up for that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to this episode, live stream Canary Cry Radio. Tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage. Monty, say bye to everybody. Monty, come here. Come here. Hey, little baby boy. Stretching cat. Stretching cat. All right. Oh, no. It's okay. Don't be afraid of the people. They love you. You're a star.
You're a star.
You're a star. I'm gonna turn you into a star. We're gonna show them our cute little sweaters. All right, say bye. Bye, everybody.
All right, are you done, Monty? Is
I'm
Monty done?
I'm trying to go out with Monty right now.
Okay.
Bye. Are we still going? What's going on? Gonz? Gonzo.